Hello, and welcome to the WASC Focus on Learning Mid-Cycle Training for Schools and Visiting Committees. This training is designed for both schools and visiting committees to ensure consistency of streamlined mid-cycle information. By the end of this training, the school and the visiting committee will be able to learn the purpose of a mid-cycle report and/or visit, know where to locate all necessary information, be able to complete all sections of the report, plan for the visit logistics, and understand the different status recommendations. Let's start with the mid-cycle report. The purpose of a WASC mid-cycle report is for the school to verify and explain their progress in improving student well-being and achievement. All WASC accredited schools will complete a mid-cycle report. Through the lens of continuous improvement, we ask schools to update their relevant data to better understand student progress and needs, report on progress for the key areas for growth identified in the action plan, and highlight those successfully addressed and those still requiring attention. As educators, we understand that priorities shift and change based on data and student needs. Your school's WASC mid-cycle report should be an authentic reflection of the past 3 years and an accurate roadmap of where your school wants to go in the future. A visit is usually recommended if the previous visiting team felt like a check-in was necessary to help note the progress made towards identified goals. Schools that receive a 6-year accreditation status with a mid-cycle report will prepare and submit a report by June 1st of the relevant year. If your school is a report-only school, you will find this information when you log into your school portal and click on Review/Visit. Schools that receive a 6-year accreditation status with a mid-cycle report and visit will prepare a report and host a virtual mid-cycle visit. For schools who will host a virtual visit, your chair will reach out to you once they are placed to collaboratively determine a visit date. All visits are now one-day visits, and chairs will submit the date on their portal once finalized. So let's start with schools. For schools to access their school material, remain in your school portal. Under your mid-cycle review, click on the Procedures document. This document will give you more information about submitting the report and visit logistics if applicable. Next, click on the mid-cycle samples. Since WASC is now using a universal mid-cycle report, we have tailored the school samples to each type of school or program. The samples provided will have examples of appropriate data and specific terminology that applies to your school or program. Here is the Universal Mid-Cycle Report for schools. And below are resource modules, which provide a sample schedule and tips. This training will walk you through what to include in your mid-cycle report and the maximum number of pages for each chapter, as WASC has been intentional about streamlining this process. Let's start with Chapter 1, School Description, 1-page maximum. Chapter 1 includes a brief background of the school. What does an outsider need to know about your school and student demographics? In addition, instead of describing each program or course you offer, link a course catalog or website outlining your offerings. Lastly, WASC's core values ensure equity and access for all students. Provide a description or list of school-wide strategies that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Here is an example of that first bullet. Next, this continuous improvement process recommends that schools closely analyze relevant student data, academic and social and emotional, noting trends from the past 3 years. Include a summary of student academic progress and social and emotional well being, with implications and identified student learner needs. Next is Chapter 2, Significant Developments, 1 page maximum. Thinking of the last 3 years, include a description of any significant changes or developments that have had a major impact on students, school, and staff. Make sure to describe the impact of these changes or developments. Chapter 3 is 2 paragraphs describing the engagement of all educational partners and the process for developing, implementing, and monitoring the school-wide action plan. Each school or program will have a different form of an action plan. Please discuss whatever school-wide action plan makes sense to your school or program. Lastly, our WASC policy promotes transparency of use when it comes to generative AI. If your school or program used AI tools to synthesize findings, please include a brief paragraph. Chapter 4 is the heart of the mid-cycle report. It is the progress on the implementation of the school-wide action plan, and it is 4 pages maximum. Here, we analyze the progress made in fostering student success and well-being through the implementation of the school-wide action plan. Schools or programs will summarize progress made on school goals and growth areas, link and cite relevant supporting data, and explain the impact on student learning. You can choose to complete Chapter 4 in paragraph form, as seen here, or present progress in the form of a chart. Lastly, the purpose of continuous improvement is to have a revised action plan to move the school forward for the next 3 years, as seen here in Chapter 5. Please use the appropriate action plan for your school or program and link it here. It is also helpful to the school to include a paragraph explaining if and why revisions were made. If you are a report-only school, you can end this training now, as we will now discuss the logistics for a virtual mid-cycle visit. Once the mid-cycle chair is placed, the school and the chair will work collaboratively to secure a visit date and create a visit schedule. Since a mid-cycle visit is designed to be a check-in to support the school's goals and growth areas, the visiting committee only needs to meet with the necessary groups. For example, if one of the school's previous goals focused on their multilingual students and increasing ELA and math proficiency, the school will want to arrange a time for the visiting committee to meet with their EL coordinator and 1 or 2 ELA or math teachers. In addition, the visiting committee only needs to observe classrooms to support the school's goals. Not all classrooms need to be visited. If the school has additional classes or programs they would like to highlight outside of the visit schedule, they can send the visiting committee chair a recorded clip of that instruction. Visiting committees, especially chairs, will have the same essential resources as schools, including the report and visit procedures document. However, these resources can be found in their member portal. So if you are a visiting committee member, I am going to show you where to find all of your resources. Go ahead and sign in to your member portal. Click on your review and visits. and then select the appropriate review. There, you will see all the necessary and helpful materials. Under templates and samples, you will find the visiting committee report template and samples for all types of schools, as well as resource modules with the same sample schedule. The visiting committee samples show different examples from different types of schools or programs. However, you will notice that all samples are 3 pages. Please choose the appropriate sample for the school or program you are visiting. It is best practice to share the school-wide strengths, confirmation of action plan goals, and additional recommendations with the school before the end of the visit. Once the report is complete, please send the final copy to the school's leadership and upload to your member portal. If you are a mid-cycle visiting committee chair, you will see the status recommendation card in your member portal. At the end of your virtual visit, you will submit the confidential recommendation. Please do not share this recommendation with the school. Since the purpose of WASC accreditation is the ongoing cycle of continuous improvement, consider the school's capacity, commitment, and competence to support all of their learners. If you are considering any recommendation besides accreditation reaffirmed, please contact your WASC advisor before submitting the recommendation. Once all documents are uploaded in the appropriate portal and/or status recommendations received by our WASC office, the report and recommendation will go to our commission meetings held in January, April, and June. Schools and chairs will receive official letters from WASC after the completion of the commission meeting. If you are unsure when you will receive that official letter, please contact your WASC advisor. Thank you so much for attending training and for your commitment to high achievement and student success.